Where are you from and how long have you been living in South Korea?
I'm from the US in Boston, and I've been here for about like a month and a half.
What do you do in South Korea?
I'm just doing an internship right now for marketing.
I'm from Romania and I've been staying in South Korea for only 3 weeks.
I'm from Paris and I'm just here since 2 days.
And I'm from Paris and I've been living here for 6 years now.
I'm from the Netherlands and I'm staying here till the 24th, so around 2 weeks.
I'm originally from Chicago, United States, and I've been here for about a month now.
And how has your experience been so far living in South Korea?
I think for me, especially because I'm Asian American, they can't really tell that I'm a foreigner. I've heard of many experiences of xenophobia against people with darker skin color and complexion. I think it's been good. I think most people just look at me and think I'm Korean, and I can't speak any Korean, so sometimes older people might be disappointed because they think I don't know my mother language. Yeah.
So like what's its ethnicity?
So it's a little complicated. So I'm technically Chinese, but I was adopted by Japanese parents, so I can speak Japanese, and culturally I was raised as somebody who is Japanese, but ethnically I'm Chinese, and especially when I go back to Japan, they're able to tell that I'm not native to Japan.
What's cool, it was cultural differences I could see a lot of, but I like this. I like the surroundings, I like the country, the people. Yeah, it was an awesome experience so far.
What do you do for a living in Korea?
I was a student at first and then I met my husband and so I'm living here, still student.
And how has your experience been living in South Korea?
Yes, I like it so far. Before COVID, I have been here like 3 times already, so it's like a really good country, so I came back for vacation.
Why do you find yourself coming back to South Korea?
Because I like the culture here, the people are very nice, the food is also nice, and K-pop, I guess, and K-drama.
It's been good. The weather is, definitely. Everywhere I go, I feel like I'm sweating. But everyone has been very polite, super nice. Servers are really understanding when I only have like very minimal Korean. I really like the public transportation. It's super easy to get around. So I've enjoyed it so far.
Based on your personal opinion, is South Korea safe as a foreign woman?
I think it's pretty safe. I don't have a lot of friends here, and I've been taking myself out. Obviously, take safety precautions, calculate a risk. But I think it's relatively safe. I also don't go clubbing, so I think a lot of dangerous things happen like in clubs and at nighttime. So I think because I don't go to clubs or drink, I'm able to avoid a lot of it.
Very safe as a woman. Even in metro, even in night, even everywhere, in public spaces, in restaurants, everywhere, I feel quite safe.
Is South Korea safe for you as a foreign woman? For the past 2 days you've been here.
Yeah, I think it's safe because, for example, in the airport we could leave our luggage, and like it was strange for us because in Paris we don't leave anything, and there are many people that will steal your things, so we don't leave. And here in Korea, we feel more safer than in Paris.
At first I was like, yeah, Korea is a safe country, but I've been here for like 6 years now, so yes, my experience is a little bit different, and as a foreigner, it is more safe than Paris for sure. But I'm not so sure about the safety of Korea right now.
You can always get help from people like that's walking by. They are very nice and very gentle, so it's really safe for a foreign woman here.
I would say at least in comparison to I've grown up in cities my entire life. And I definitely feel like I have to be on edge at home. You can't walk with headphones in. It's better if you walk with a friend. Here I'm still like a little hesitant going out at night, but by and by I definitely feel a lot safer than I have in the past in other cities.
Do you think South Korea is one of the safest countries in the world, or the safest country in the world?
I definitely think it's up there. I know Singapore is also very safe, and Tokyo is very safe for a city as well. I think it's safe and easy to navigate, yeah.
Amongst the countries you've traveled to, you've visited, which country is the most safest?
I would say maybe Singapore is the most safe, but I feel more comfortable in South Korea because I feel like it's a lot more liberal in comparison to Japan, especially with tattoos, piercing, and clothing style. I really see that South Korea is a lot more open to it. Like maybe you'll get some staring, but like I feel like in Japan it's super conservative still, yeah.
And how was your experience in Japan like?
Because I'm a foreigner that can speak Japanese with Japanese parents, I'm not treated too differently, but I've seen videos of other foreigners not having great experiences with locals. But definitely, I think the way that you dress and kind of behavior wise, it's very noticeable and kind of rejected sometimes if it's too much. Yeah.
You have a great sense of style.
Oh, thank you.
Have you ever felt unsafe while living in South Korea?
No, not exactly. My umbrella was stolen once, but from the museum.
No, I don't think so. It was for me. It's okay. Here in Korea, I feel safe.
One time I was going home. I finished work, and I was going home. Maybe I don't know what time it was, but it was dark. I was getting out of the subway, and some guy was like, "Oh, I just saw you come out from the subway exit, so I followed you." He told me like this. So I followed you. So where are you from? And when I said I was from France, he was like, "Oh, I'm learning French. So can I get you home?" And I was a little bit like, "I'm busy. I don't want. I can go by myself. I have someone like waiting for me at home." And he was like, "Oh, but where are you going? Like, what is the direction you're going?" This way. And he was like, "Me too." And I was like, "Okay, this is a problem." So I texted my sister that she was living with me at the time, but she came out to meet me, and that was a big relief for me. But I don't know how I would handle this if Siam wasn't here, my sister wasn't there.
I don't think so. There was one like time that was a little sketch where this man kind of tried to drag me away. I just like immediately spoke up and was like, "I'm meeting someone, like you can't take me." And he let me go and left me alone.
So can you like briefly explain like how that experience was for you? Like how did it start? How did you feel after that? Were you scared? Like a mental state? How was it? Like all of it.
Well, it actually happened in Hongdae like a few weeks ago, and it wasn't too bad because there was so many people around. It was so crowded, and there were already people staring at us because I was looking very uncomfortable. I didn't feel that afraid after. I think the one thing I would be afraid of was if he was following me home. Like that would have been a problem, but I have a lot of people, or I have a lot of like my parents' friends are here that I can call in case I'm in trouble, so I'm glad I have them to rely on in case anything did happen.
Not any specific, like unsafe, not any specific times, no. Maybe a little overwhelmed or on edge, but never where I felt like my personal physical safety has been threatened.
Overwhelmed, on edge by what?
It's busy, it's noisy, it's hot. I feel like I sort of, like all of my senses can get overwhelmed, but the minute I like sit down and take a breath, it's usually fine.
Based on your personal opinion, do you think South Korea is the safest country on earth?
For women, yes, because you can just walk around and see like many women, girls wearing like short skirts, and like they can easily walk around without any harassment or something. So it's really like a safe country.
Which country is the most unsafe?
I've only ever traveled abroad twice, not counting this time. So I would have to say the time I spent in New York, I traveled to New York once by myself, and that was really sketchy. I had really no idea where I was going. I didn't really know anybody. So I pretty much avoided going out at night until my friends met up with me in New York. That's when I probably have felt the most unsafe or afraid to walk at night, yeah.
Why did you feel that way like in New York?
It just felt like there were a lot of people that were very willing and ready to take advantage of me, sort of walking on my own. You sort of get like, yelled at or catcalled on the street. I have yet to be yelled at here or catcalled here. it just makes you kind of feel gross. I would definitely say New York is probably the where I have felt the most unsafe.
I live in the U.S. and the U.S. is kind of unsafe, especially with the recent gun violence. So I guess that is probably the most unsafe country I visited.
Paris, unfortunately, because I had many problems like what she has told. I have experienced many things like that, and like there are many people that steal things like a phone or bags and many things, and that's why I told you that here I feel safe because of that. Because for me, Paris is the worst.
It's Paris, France, yes.
Why was it unsafe for you?
Like many people like sleeping on the street and like they are flirting to you and making sexual harassments. Yeah, so don't like it over there.